Let's open our Bibles now to the book of Galatians, chapter 2. Although the text for our consideration this morning would be from verse 11 to verse 21, but I fear that we may not be able to go through the entire text, and so we might as well consider verse 11 to verse 13 for this morning's meditation. Under this message I titled, Consistency in Upholding the Gospel. It actually covers the entire passage from verse 11 to verse 21. As I look into it, I am sure that we may not be able to really deal with it, the entire passage, that I would rather that we focus from verse 11 to 13 and by God's grace devour o unsay atong makuha diha ana nga mga verses, rather than we will go straight and go through the entire passage for the purpose of simply completing it without spending much time diha sa mga detalye nga atong makita sa mga versikulo. And so, let us now take time to read beginning verse 11 up until verse 13. Galatians chapter 2, verse 11 to 13. Let us read these verses in unison in one voice. Verse 11 to verse 13 of Galatians chapter 2. Reading, But when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face, because he was to be blamed. For before that certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles, but when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the circumcision. And the other Jews dissembled likewise with him, insomuch that Barnabas also was carried away with their dissimulation. Human sa ilahang panagtigom dito sa Jerusalem, which we have considered in the previous messages. Human sa ilahang panagtigom in that deliberation or that debate that they may have had back in Jerusalem, as you can see, beginning in verse 1 up until verse 10, nga diin ilahang naresolbar. Remember, there was an issue that the church had encountered. And what was that issue all about? There were believers among them who seemed to be inclined still with the kind of teaching and practices nga ilahang gihuptan sa wa pa sila diha sa pagtuo. And we are referring to the Judaizers. There were Jewish people who may have come to believe in the Lord, but still nagpabilin ang ilahang attachment o ang ilahang affection sa mga pagtulunan nga ilahang gihuptan kaniadto. Nga diin bisan pa man tuod og ilahang nga gidawat ang ebanghelyo sa atong Ginoo, they still would insist that unless these Gentile Christians be circumcised and observe the Mosaic law, they will not be saved. So tungod niya na there was a crisis. Kay nga naman, sa usang bahin, nagtuo ka nga ang kaluwasan pinagi sa pagtuo kang Ginoong Hesus, and still you would insist nga ang kaluwasan pinagi sa pagtuo kang Ginoong Hesus kinahanglan ubanan. Kinahanglan nga sangkapan og punan. O kung sa ipuno, circumcision and the keeping of the Mosaic law. And somehow, that was resolved, as we have learned in our previous messages. And how was it resolved? The apostles and the elders of the church in Jerusalem stood their ground. And who else stood their ground? The Apostle Paul. They were all united and firm in rejecting the proposal and the insistence of the Judaizers nga yes, no doubt about it, kinahanglan gyud nga dawaton si Ginoong Hesus nga mangluluwas. Pero kinahanglan nga punan gyud na siya sa circumcision and the Mosaic law. And that was where the confusion arose. But somehow, by the grace and mercies of God, it was resolved. It was indeed resolved by the apostles and the elders standing their ground, and also Paul not giving in to their demand. If you can take a quick look at verse 5, mabasa gyud nato diha. Paul here saying, to whom we give place by subjection, no, not for an hour. Wa gyud namo hatagig kay gayunan nga makapundar sila o maka-establish sila sa ilahang gusto. Ug sa unsa nga katuyuan that they don't give any subjection to it. Verse 5, last part, that the truth of the gospel might continue with you. So diha niya na atong nakita that the apostles and the elders, and including the Apostle Paul, they are committed to the truth of the gospel. That they cannot afford nor can allow nga usbon ang kamatuoran sa pulong sa Ginoo. They cannot afford nor allow, regardless of whoever would want nga ilahang usbon og tukion og bag-ohon ang pagtulunan. Kay sa giingon pa ni Apostle Paul, yes, verse 5, for the moment you entertain such accommodation, you are now distorting and diluting the gospel, that it will no longer be pure as it should be. Nga naman, kay imuhamang gitugutan, nga naay mga gipuno o gipangdugang liha sa maong pagtulunan. And that is what we read in verse 5. We give no time, not even an hour. For what purpose? That the truth of the gospel might continue in you. Now, it seems like all is well with the ministry of the gospel, nining tungura. Kay lagi, the apostles, the elders, and the Apostle Paul, they were committed, and at the same time, they were consistent diha sa paghupot sa pagtulunan, lig-on nga pagtulunan sa Ebanghelyo sa atong Ginoo. Upon, as we come down to our text, as you can see there, verse 1 to verse 10, the setting took place where? In Jerusalem. Coming down to verse 11, the setting is shifted to Antioch. Kabantay mo? From Jerusalem, in verse 1 to verse 10, our text for consideration this morning would bring us to Antioch. Now, importante ni nga ito ni Siron. Kaya kung inyong mahinumduman, if you still remember when the Apostle Paul received the calling from the Lord, he did not straight away appear before men. Kung inyong mahinumduman, he went to Antioch, yes, but after which he went to Arabia and returned again to Damascus. Come with me for a while to chapter 1 and verse 18. Chapter 1, verse 18. Ingon diha, then after 3 years, I went up to Jerusalem to see Peter. Moto'y initial niya nga pakiginabi kang Peter. After 3 years, sa pagtawag sa Ginoo diha niya. Chapter 2, verse 1. Then 14 years after. Now, after 3 years, nakikita siya Peter. Human siyang pagkikita, he spent only 15 days at that time. Then, nipadayon siya siyang buluhaton. 14 years na po nga milabay, nibalik siya ngadto sa Jerusalem. Are we following? Importante ni siya mga igsunan, haron masabtan yun na to, ngano ni siya ngingon ani ni. 3 years after, nakikita siya ni Peter alone. 15 days. Uli, balik siya sa Antioch, nangalagad siya, Ginoo. 14 years has passed, ay pa siya nakikita og balik sa mga apostoles in Jerusalem, this time not only for Peter and with Peter, but with the rest of the apostles, the elders and the leaders of the church. Unya, naresolbar itong maong isyu nga ilahang giatubang. And it seems like all is well. But as you can see in our text this morning, while in terms of doctrine, all is well, they were able to uphold the pure gospel, rejecting, denying the insistence of the Judaizers. But you know what? As we will see this morning, things may appear well, but somehow there still remains issues that are unresolved. It appears that there are still issues that needs to be settled. As we shall see in today's message, I titled Consistency in Upholding the Gospel. Although, I must say that these issues is no more doctrinal. Kaya nasulbad man to nila. These issues are more on a personal and practical. As I have said, the setting brings us now to Antioch. Human sa pakiguban ni Apostol Pablo sa mga apostoles dito sa Jerusalem, we see in verse 11 that Peter thought about going up to Antioch to visit and perhaps to see how the Apostle Paul and the rest are doing. You can see it clearly in verse 11. But when Peter was come to Antioch, maingon pa nato nga, matay, kaduha naman kung bisita si Apostle Paul nako. May siguro ako na po yung bisita niya. And obviously, Peter would have wanted to visit Paul, and Peter would have wanted to fellowship with Paul, but for sure, Peter would have wanted to collaborate with Paul. But was it what happened? Mao ba na nahitabo? You look closely at verse 11. There's a confrontation. There is a conflict. Nga samtang ang iyang tumong ug tinguha nga mobisita siya ngadtong Apostle Paul, makig-fellowship kang Apostle Paul, makigtambayayong niyas buhat, unsay nahitabo? You look closely in verse 11. Ug unsay nahitabo? How will you describe? Was it fellowship? Yeah, you look closely at verse 11. You don't look at me, please. You look at your Bibles. Kay ganahan ko nga kanang, I studied, and I share this with you, haron nga kamupod madala gyud dias kamatuoran ba. Lantaw kung sa nahitabo. Sa usang bahin, ang iyang gusto makig-uban, sa usang bahin ang gusto makig-fellowship, sa usang bahin ang gusto nga makig-co-labor. Now, by the way, I find it really interesting because co-laboring is an old, we've used it for so long a time. But nowadays, young people have the what? Collab. Collab to brand. Collab. That's how they call it nowadays. But it's actually co-labor or collaborate. That's the root word there, co-labor. Nowadays, you hear from among young people say, oh, collab. Whatever it may be, it must have been Peter's desire that he wanted to collaborate or to co-labor with who? Paul. But what happened is somewhat unexpected. Nga naman, you look closely in verse 11. But when Peter was come to Antioch, what? I withstood him to the face because he was to be blamed. Wow. It was far from what Peter expected. It was far from what Peter had anticipated. He might have wanted all along to go and to commune and to have fellowship and to co-labor. But what happened? You know, mga kaigsunan, this is what we are seeing in here, that I titled this message, Consistency in Upholding the Gospel. For Peter, he may have been consistent doctrinally, but somehow he has not been consistent in upholding the gospel personally and practically. And I hope that would encourage you to follow carefully what we're going to consider. Nga naman, unsa may nahitabo? Di ba nibisita si Apostle Paul niya? Di ba nag-uban pa sila dito sa Jerusalem? O nga naman, unsa may nahitabo? Nga sa iyahang pagbisita na karon ngadto kang Antioch, ngadto kang Apostle Paul, imbis i-welcome siya ni Apostle Paul, what happened? You know, mga kaigsunan, it's not just about, nowadays, we often hear of expression like, I call him out. I call his attention. No, this is not just even like calling his attention. It's actually a rebuke in the face of Peter. And somehow, nato makita diha, that Apostle Paul was not a man-pleaser. Remember Apostle Peter? He was the acknowledged leader of the apostles. The original, remember? He was together with the original apostles during Christ's earthly ministry. He was greatly used by God during those times. Although there was a failure on his part, yet the Lord restored him. Remember? Lovest thou me more than this? Feed my sheep. Lovest thou me more than this? Feed my sheep. And true indeed. The Lord used him greatly and mightily where? During the Pentecost. Yes, they all spoke in tongues, but who preached in Acts chapter 2? Peter. And in that message that Peter preached, thousands of souls were converted and got saved. And thereafter, Peter was the acknowledged leader. I'm sure Paul knows it very well. In fact, we know nga sa tanan si Peter iyang gipakigkitaan una. We've read it a while ago in Acts chapter Galatians 1:18. Then after 14 years, he went up again to Jerusalem and communed with the apostles. In other words, si Apostle Paul, he acknowledged and he recognized Peter and he recognized his apostleship. In fact, in chapter 2, verse 8 and 9, you can take a quick look there, siya mismo ningon nga, the Lord who called Peter to be the apostle to the circumcision is also doing the same unto me to be the apostle to the uncircumcision. Buti pa sabot, nahibaw si Apostol Pablo sa estado ni Peter. Nahibaw si Apostol Pablo nga he is the acknowledged leader. But one thing that attracts my attention in here is bahala kag ikay leader, but if you are inconsistent, I have to rebuke you. You look at verse 11. In fact, he gave us a reason there. He was to be blamed. You know, mga kigsunan, dinhi na to makita. Now, let's set aside for a while Apostle Peter, the Apostle Paul. Last week, I did mention he did not seek man's approval. Remember? He did not seek to be accepted by men. He did not seek to impress people to be accepted and be recognized by them. In fact, it turned out the other way around. Sa iyahang pagpabilin nga lig-on, uncompromising, ang uban hinuon mo'y nakumbinsi diha kaniya. And so it is here. Bahala kag ikay leader, nasayop ka, I have to correct you. And I have to correct you straight on your face. And that would tell us even more about the Apostle Paul, that he indeed was no man pleaser. He is no respecter of person. Some of us may even think, agrabiha, wa na lang yung diplomasya kang Apostle Paul. You know, mga kaigsunan, sometimes when you are in the ministry, and if you are really committed to uphold the truth in the work of the ministry, you cannot do otherwise. Because the moment you compromise, it's a downward spiral. Isugot gani ka kaniadto pastor karon na hinuon dili. You know that kind of issue. And that is the issue. That is our first point. The issue. What is the issue? The Apostle Peter. What about the Apostle Peter here? Now, listen carefully, mga kaigsunan. The issue is in here. Verse 12. Before that certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles. Natong so yan naghubad sa kanang binisaya kay murag lisod man kayo. Ang gisaysay diri ni Apostle Paul nga iyahang girebuke si Peter ngano kaysa wa pa nangabot ang mga Hudiyo, lindot kayo iyang banding-banding sa mga Gentile believers. And we know very well that for a Jew, it's a big no-no. For the Judaizers, it's a big no-no. In fact, I chose as our scripture reading Acts 10 because it was how the Lord taught Peter what the Lord had cleansed. You don't call them unclean. It's actually a lesson nga ikaw usa ka Hudiyo. Yes, while your Jewish religion teaches you that you are to separate yourself from Gentiles, let it be known that as far as the gospel is concerned, you are both equal in the eyes of God. Remember, if you are following our scripture, ganiha, gipadamgo siya, gipakita siya. Insa di ko mukaon kay I have not eat anything that is common and unclean. And the Lord taught him what? What God has cleansed, what God has sanctified. You don't consider it unclean. And that was actually a lesson, a picture, an object lesson for him to learn that yes, he is supposed to go into the house of what? Remember? Cornelius, a Gentile. And in a Jewish religion, it's a no-no. You don't hang around. Much more, you don't go into the house of a Gentile. It's a taboo. Gani, kung hinumdo mo ang mga Hudiyo, they are not even to mingle with half-Jew. Remember? They have issue with Samaritan. And who are Samaritans? Kadugo gyapon na nila, half-Jew lang. And yet, they really make a stand that they don't have anything to do with Samaritans. How much more Gentiles? Gentiles in their eyes are considered unclean. And yet, Peter, learning from the Lord, remember, gitudluan siya sa Ginoo, you go into the house of Cornelius. Nasayod siya nga ang Ebanghelyo knows no boundaries, knows no prejudice as far as whether you are a Jew or a Gentile. Ug mauna siya hinungdan nga nung grabe ang kasuko ni Paul. Nga naman, kaysa iyahang pagbisita dito sa Antioch, lami-lami pa kayo ang banding sa mga Gentile. Until nga niabot ang mga Hudiyo. Mo naman kaingon sa tayo, Hudiyo yung dako. Now you follow carefully the verse. I'm sure you cannot, somehow by the grace of God, dili nato ni siya makuan o dili ginanto ni siya hunungan.
And I hope nga masabtan na gyud ninyo nga dili di ay nga why diplomasya si Paul. It's all because ang gihimo ni Peter was so serious. Because he is portraying what? Double standard. In today's language, hypocrisy. That's the issue. Nga naman, for before, sa wapa moabot ang mga kaigsunan from James. Remember James? James here refers to the brother of Jesus. One of the leaders of the Jerusalem church. Gani kung munaog takadiyot, naog sa takadiyot in verse 9. Kinsay unangan nga na-mention. James, Cephas, and John, who seem to be pillars of the what? The church in Jerusalem. So, dinhi sa verse 11 and 12, gisaysay ni Apostol Paul nga Peter, sa wa pa mga bot ning mga kanahan gikan kang James, nindot kaayo imong banding-banding sa mga kaigsuonan diri sa Antioch ay. You look carefully at verse 12. But ingon diha, but before certain men came from James, what? He did eat with the Gentiles. And again, sa ako nang giingon, for the Jews, it's a big taboo. It's a big no-no for a Jew to eat together with a Gentile. It's even worse than like meeting up with a non-Jew. Because sa ilahang pagtulunan, if you would eat with a Gentile, you are considering yourself to be a Gentile as well. Ingon ana kaubos ang ilahang panglantaw sa mga hintil. You don't go into the house, much more, you don't go and eat with them. Apan sa bahay ni Apostle Peter, he learned this lesson straight from who? The Lord in Acts 10. That you don't question. Because as far as the gospel is concerned, it is the power of God unto salvation to the Jew first and then to the Greeks. In other words, no distinction, no discrimination. You only preach one and the same gospel, both to the Jew and the Gentile. But what was the problem? That was the problem, the issue. Peter, having a great time in fellowship, you can only imagine. Kaya nga naman, gaan sa iyahang konsensya kay mismo nga tong Ginoo mo'y nagtudlo kaniya nga pwede na. Muna gikasub-an ni Apostle Paul because Peter seemed to be inconsistent. Not in doctrine, but in practice. Nga naman, you look again in verse 12. For before that certain came from James, he did eat with the Gentiles. And look at this. But when they were come, what? He withdrew and separated himself. Na-imagine na nagkadiyot. Kana bitang mukaon ka niya, kabantay ka nanay ni abot, kalit lang ka. I'm sure, kalipay naman kayo sa mga kaigsunan sa Antioch at this time. Kaning mga tawhana, kay baw sa sila o kinsa ni si Apostol Peter. So, it must have been a great honor that they have Peter with them enjoying meals together. Now, all of a sudden mo, di ba kang mahibong? Nga naman to. Kita bitaw sa hay, o dila lang to gamitong pista ha. Why pistahay? Ano bang naitapok-tapok sa inyong balay ba? O niya na ikaw, kalit lang. Nga naman to? Ay, adto na mi, di na mi magdugay. Unya, lami-lami bagay nyo diyang banding kaon. Unya, kalit lang nga, di ba na, mahibong yung ka. Tanawa ko no, basig na daot sa itong, basig na panuos na ni, basig na, wak ko yun sa timplada, basig, daghan mo, mahibong ka, oy. Nga naman, you look carefully at the verse. He separated and withdrew himself. In other words, lami pa yung kaon niya pagka sa diyang naa siya nakita nga mga Hudiyo nangabot, mukalit lang, oh. You look at the structure of the verse. Gani, og sa ato apang kustumbringon kaway, batasan mo, may pananghiray. You look at the verse. He straightaway withdrew and separate. Sa way pagpangutana, sa way pagpananghid, sa way pagpasabot, di ka may bunga na. Lami-lami pa inyong kaon, yung kalitlag sipat. Mauna nga ni Ulbo si Apostol, Pablo, Pedro, di gito mao ang imong buhat. Nga naman, because on the part of Peter, there was inconsistency. And no wonder Paul said clearly in verse 11, when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face because he was to be blamed. Sayop to niya. Nga naman, kaya kung imog yung tanawon, in first part of verse 12, it appears that Peter was having a great and wonderful time having fellowship with the Gentile believers. And you can only imagine the gladness, the excitement among the Gentile believers and the privilege, the honor, wa, sige laming kadungog ani niya, karon naa na gyud kauban na namo sa pagkaon, kasalo na namo sa pagkaon. By the way, in New Testament times, there is what we call, we don't use the term, we don't often use the term, but it's actually being practiced. A common practice in a New Testament church is what we call love feast. Love feast. In other words, it has been a practice of the New Testament church nga magkatapok. Now siguro dili kay nato familiar ka ng term nga love feast, but that was the practice back then. Siguro mas familiar mo ron sa unsa, potluck. And then pot bless. You know what it means, right? Nga ang tanan sa simbahan magda silang. Actually we often do it here in our church, but we don't call it as that. But that is what is a common practice in the church. Lunch fellowship, we call it, yes. But it is that kind of practice nga magda ang tanan o pagkaon o i-share para sa tanan. Like what we usually do here. But we don't call it now love feast. We don't even call it potluck. Obvious reason, we don't believe in luck. Some churches would call it pot bless. This is what we are seeing here. The church in Antioch were having a love feast, perhaps in honor of Apostle Peter. We've heard a lot about this. Unya karon ni bisita nato. So it's a privilege. And because it was a privilege for them, they must have what? Gathered together, all the brethren, and then enjoying every moment of it. Then all of a sudden, Peter, nangabot ang mga Hudiyo. Wow! What happened next? You look at verse 12. He withdrew. Kana bitang ingon diya, he withdrew. And then what? Separated. Yes,
He must have been having a great and wonderful time communing with Gentile believers until there came the Jew. What happened next? From that issue, now we come to the inconsistency. And this is where we see the inconsistency. But when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself. Unya, obvious kayo ang rason nganong ni separate siya, tanawa ang katapusang bahin sa verse 12. Fearing them which were of the circumcision. So naagyo diha mismo ang rason. Now, how would we call it? Double standard? Yes. Duplicity? Yes. Prangka-prangka nga pagkasulti? Hypocrisy. And that is what caught the ire of the Apostle Paul. I know some of you may be thinking, situational ethics, Pastor, would dictate nga, dad-a nga to sa kilid, istoryahi. You know what? Later on, we're going to touch it. There are just times that it is needful that you would rebuke him before the public. Some of you may be thinking, even Peter may have been thinking, Paul, murag wa naman lang yung kay nabiling respeto nako. Ibisita ko nimo dinhi nga imo kung naungon mismo diya sa tubangan sa imong mga. True? I'm sure you're thinking of that way. Now later on we're going to look into it. There are just times, mga kaigsunan, painful as it may be, but we have to speak. We have to deal with it outrightly. As you can see, the sequence, the wordings in verse 12, ingon diha, before that certain men, meaning sa wapay nangabot nga mga Hudiyo, he did eat with them. Apan sa dihang nangabot ng mga Hudiyo, nibuwag siya. Peter's interaction and association with Gentile believers was somehow, ingon pa nato, something nga kanabang makadasig ug makalipay ba? Ilabi na sa mga Gentile Christians. Nga naman, kay kini nga mga Gentile believers, I'm sure all along they may have heard a lot about Peter. Ibutang ba lang nato og pananglit? Ibutang ba lang nato og pananglit? O buhi pa ang among principal nga si Reverend Timothy To, that some of you may have heard a lot about him. And then all of a sudden, he would come and visit. I'm sure kalipay na itong tanan. And of course, he did came way back in 2007 during my ordination. He came for my ordination. And the church was so excited. Nga naman, wow. Reverend Timothy To. Not that he is superhuman, pero sangan ba nga, mo ni, nagsugod mo ni, maisto mo ni, gatudlo mo ni, kaagak mo ni, you know? To those of you who was already with us in the church, during my ordination, it was attended by, I think, 11 or 12 pastors from Australia, Kenya, Africa, Korea, and number one who came, Reverend Timothy To. Dako kayo to siya nga pribilehiyo o kadungganan sa simbahan. Kay nga naman, katong tanan nga mga kapasturan nga nitambong,
iya pong kamot ang nagpandong adto tanan. Looking back at that time. Katong tanan nga nanambong sa akong ordination and who ordained, partake siya. They were all also ordained by. So mura pag ingon anak ka ang excitement ba, ang atmosphere ba, wow, daghang kag nadungog, daghang ka og kanang nasaksihan. And yet ining tungura naalagid siya diya sa inyong atubangan, inyo pag yung nakauban sa pagkaon, na inyo pag yung na fellowship. It was a great honor for the church. And all of a sudden, pull out siya ang kagalingon. Unya, ang girason pag yun diha, makasabot na siguro nga, naglain nantiyan, nga na sobrang kaon. Unsay rason gisulti? For fear. While we see in Paul that he was no man pleaser, Peter is the exact opposite. Nakuha na to. Nga naman, parehas ba karon ining nahitabo? Nga bitay nahitabo, kadungog bitatas na nga hitabo ron sa Senado, nga nay usa diha nga nibalik kampo ningon nga mas nahadlok siya sa Hesus nga ombudsman dili sa Hesus nga tuwa sa langit. You know, there is this one particular senator nga inila pagyud kaayo nga leader sa usa ka pundok nga Kristohanon. Nya kalit lang nga ni bali sa iyahang baruganan. Unya ang mga tao ningon nga mas nahadlok siya sa Hesus nga ombudsman kaysa nga si Hesus nga atong Ginoo. Nga mismo ang iyang mga sakop sa simbahan, grabe kasagmuyo. Now, setting that aside, that is what usually happens when you succumb to fear of man rather than fear of God. Kay sawa pabitag yun maapikig pag-ayop. Nindot kayo mo diskarte nga balag magkinaonsab. And you know what? The same can be true for people in the ministry. We see it in Paul, firm and strong. We see also in Peter, somewhat inconsistent. Now, if you look carefully in here, kung atong balikan ang verse 1 to verse 10, Peter no doubt was strong in his doctrine. He never compromised as far as his doctrine is concerned. But in his personality and in his character, he has that tendency to please men. He has that tendency to what? Seek approval of men. You know, mga kaigsunan, yes, we all don't want to offend people. Okay? Unya, kung imo ni tan-awon si Peter, murag mo unay iyahang gi bati that while on one hand he enjoyed the fellowship, but at the same time he don't want to offend his Jewish brothers. In other words, kana bang usay atong ingon nga diplomasya. Ingon pa nato, diplomasya. Now, I am with you. Pero in this case, ang issue mong din sensitibo kaayo. And how sensitive it is. Nga ang Ebanghelyo is both for the Jew and the Gentile. Unya, there you are preaching the gospel both to the Jew and the Gentile. And yet, at the same time, Ikaw mismo tungod kay naay mga Hudiyo, distansya ka sa mga Gentile. In other words, you are strong in doctrine but not in practice. Maura gyapon na sa ato karon nga dili ta mamista, dili ta maginom, dili ta magbisyo. Inya ikaw man hay mang baso. I hope you are now seeing the repercussion of the actions, you know. Tanawar ko na sa kanyo mga post-post diha. Wow, verse pagayos Biblia. But what about in practice? No comment. Di ba? Igo na tayo mga anak. Usay, kita nalay mo anak. Nga naman. Because ang imuhang doktrina o ang imong kinabuhi, wala mo takdo. Wala mamao. And I want us to understand this. Consistency of the gospel is not just about doctrine. In fact, the consistency of the gospel includes our conduct, our communication, our conviction. In fact, mas masabdan patas tao diha kaysa magsigita gyaw-yaw sa atong doktrina. Sulit kag doktrina, sulit kag doktrina. Yan imong kinabuhi. Mo na nga ni ulbog yun si Apostol Pablo. O kinahanglan nga iyag yung kurhian si Peter sa atubangan. Haron nga ang mga tao makakita gyud nga sayop gitong gibuhat ni Peter ug nga makita usab ni sa mga tao nga si Apostol Pablo is really convicted to preach and be consistent with the gospel. Kay nga naman, og kita bitay makasa og masayop, rebuke. Pero sila sad. That's why it was crucial that Paul would have to deal with Peter right there and then. True. Reflect upon the situation. Peter had gladly fellowship and enjoy every meal with the Gentiles when no one was around. But when the Jewish people came from Jerusalem and were present, what? Klaro gyud kayo nang gisulti diya. Peter withdrew and separated himself. Why? What was the reason? Last verse says, fearing them which were of the circumcision. Unsa may nahitabo? Obviously, mo ni nahitabo. Peter was intimidated by their presence. He who does not want to offend them. He feared the repercussion. Nga naman, kay timan nibisita ra ba siya sa Antioch. He was the apostle to the circumcision. Inigbalik niya sa Jerusalem. I'm sure, iyang gikablakan nga dili na siya dawato na ni mga tawhana. Usahay, mauna itong makita sa mga tao nga naa sa ministry. Dili ta mo rebuke, uy, kaya mo rebuke ganita, unsaon na lang ang mga cheerful giver. You know, ako isip pastor, makita ta usahay diha nang naam sa usahay mga kauban sa buhat nga taka lang pugyawid diha ba sa social media. Unya, muna napoy mong komentaryo nga ayaw na ta pastor, ang ikapo naging importante nimo. You know what is ikapo? Tithes. Ayaw na sige gwali diha pastor. Kay bawo nami nga ngimo ra yung ikablakan ang ikapo. Ikapo may tawagan na sa Binisaya. Now, di na nato ika-deny that there are just people in the ministry that who are in the ministry simply because of filthy lucre. ug tungod ana that is why that explains nga sa ilaha tanang mga mensahe apuros gid nindot palamihan gyud kag istorya kay nga naman mo ni atong nakita diha kang Apostle Paul o Peter. Peter was intimidated by their presence. He doesn't want to offend them. He fears the repercussion if he continue to have fellowship with the Gentiles. Now, it is not that he agree with the teaching of the Judaizers. Ato na nang nasettle atong verse 1 to verse 10. It's not about nga ni uyon sa silang pagtulunan, but he is somewhat seeking their approval. And at the same time, avoiding any conflict with them. Apan ang maong problema mga kaigsunan, dako kay na siya og repercussion, dako kay na. We have looked at the issue, we have looked at the inconsistency na the last, the implication. Unsa implikasyon sa iyang gihimo? Lantawa ha, verse 13, last verse. And other Jews dissembled likewise with him. Imbis unta, kini nga mga Hudiyo, nibisita sa dito, kay gusto sa silang makig-fellowship sa mga Gentile, pero kay nakita man nila si Peter nga ni distansya, sila na lang po ni... Are we following? In other words, mao man na, nag-una ang kahadlok ni Peter og unsa isulti ining mga tawhana nga ang tumong usab day og tinguha aning mga tawhana kay nakasabot na sila sa pagtuluan nito the Jerusalem Council verse 1 to verse 10 napangdol na pod hinuon nga siguro may imagine nato nga uban ni brad noon sa man ni si Apostol Peter nga likon kay dito nya karon na nini lantaw ang verse 13. The Jews were dissembled. In other words, kaniuntang mga tawhana ni bisita sa dito kay gusto makihig, banding. Unya kay nakita man nila Peter nga ni iskirda lang sa sila. In other words, si Peter mo inhimong kapangdulan. Unya, sayri mga kaigsunan nga although ang verse nato atong nakita nga napangdul ang mga Hudiyo, but obviously ang mga hintil po dato na nga pangdul. In fact, that is what we see in the second part of verse 13. And the other Jews dissembled likewise with him, in so much that what? Barnabas also was carried away with their dissimulation. Na kung atong minumduman baya, si Barnabas mo ay nag-introduce kang Apostol Pablo ngadto sa mga tinun-an. And that explains why Paul would have to rebuke Peter at his face. Nga naman, because his behavior was detrimental. Dako ka itong hindrance o babag kapangdulan sa pagpalambo, sa pagsangyaw, sa buluhaton, sa ebanghelyo sa atong Ginoo. In fact, he has set an example. He also have influenced and encouraged others to do the same. To do the same. To do what? To separate themselves. Abi ba na kong ninganhay ta diri sa Antioch atong bisitahon o makig-fellowship ta sa itong mga Gentile believers. Distansya man diay is Peter. You know, mga kaigsunan, at some point mo po niya ito nga ngayon katunon. Siguro sa atua, it's not much about Jew and Gentiles. But let's face it, in our church, and in many other churches for that matter, we cannot help, we have our own preferences. And whether you like it or not only that we have our own preferences, we also have our prejudices. We draw the line. We tend to separate ourselves. We don't, di kay ta makig hugoy-hugoy sa uban. Kanira sila itong, And that is inconsistencies on our part as far as the gospel is concerned. We look at Peter here, who withdrew himself and separated himself from the Gentiles. And what was the implication? The other Jews dissembled likewise with him, in so much that Barnabas also was carried away. You know what is carried away? Nadismaya siya, na-discourage siya. Ug unsay iyang giga-discourage dyan? Dissimulation. You know what is dissimulation? In the original New Testament language, is the word hypocritos. In English language is the word hypocrisy. Now, what could have been a blessed and fruitful fellowship and communion with Peter and Paul, with the Jewish and Gentile believers, what happened? Remember, sa pagsugod, ako ginang gisaysay nga, murag tinguha ni Pedro nga mo, bisita. Ang mga Hudiyo, tinguha nga mo, bisita. Looking forward with much expectation and anticipation that they're going to have a what? Blessed and fruitful time in fellowship with one another. But simply because of one person's behavior, what happens? Diba? Kanindot kayo. Gani usahay mo kanta tana. Behold how good and pleasant it is for brethren to dwell together. Hinima tu o manaim. Shebet hakim gam yakad. Behold how good and how pleasant it is for what? For brethren to dwell together. Regardless you be Jew or a Gentile. But because of one man's inconsistency. Now, as we reflect upon Peter here, we might as well consider ourselves. Sa kuha ng gingon, we do have our preferences, we do have our prejudices. It's about time that we overcome. Ma-overcome na to. That we will learn to embrace and accept our brother or sister. After all, we are all God's children. And so, mga kaigsunan, much as I have said, much as I wanted to really move on from the confrontation of Paul with Peter, we will consider, God willing, next week, Paul's clarification on justification and the conclusion of the matter. That would be, not for next week, for the next week after next, because we will be having Preacher Cornelius next week. So, I trust nga sa ato karong nalagtawan, may we all be consistent. Not perfect, but consistent. Mindful ba ta? Conscious ba ta sa ato ang pagabuhaton? Conscious ba ta og unsay impact ini og epekto niini sa uban? Like kaganiha, I did mention to you a very practical nga illustration. Sige, tag-ingon nga, dili ta mag-inom, dili ta mamista, dili ta maghubog-hubog, dili ta manabako, unya ni kuman. Double standard. Inconsistent. May the Lord help us nga ato kanang ma-overcome kanang whatever inconsistencies we may have in our lives.